What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Stand a little taller. Doesn't mean I'm lonely when I'm alone. What doesn't kill you makes a fighter. Footsteps even lighter. Doesn't mean I'm over, 'cause you're gone. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us at the Balancing Active Life. I'm Emilie, DeAngelo, your host with wonderful TLBTV. And today we are going to be making a very nice gluten-free, a lemon thumbprint cookie. I really like the gluten-free because I'm noticing I feel so much better in so many ways. And I discussed that in an episode before with Melinda talking about gluten-free. And I noticed things just by testing how I'm feeling with it. So I decided today, you kind of got me in a roll because I'm just in here cooking things up. I am sharing this with you because I just thought, just to see a recipe done, the gluten-free, how easy and simple it is. It's really not that hard. And for those of you that have children and are really trying to get their lifestyle to be healthier eating, cleaner eating, low sugar, kind of getting away from the heavy grains of wheat to be gluten-free. This is a really good recipe for you. I would follow for peanut butter, for maybe chocolate chip. All of these recipes you can make in batches and freeze them. Have them for your kids' lunches. Have them for a snack. Have them for after dinner, just a sweet dessert instead of piling on the ice cream and everything else. This is a lot simpler. And again, you can make them in batches. It doesn't take that long. It'll last quite a while. I will also, because I'm also the pH healthy gal, trying to keep acid lower so my pH is always balanced. I'll cut the sugar down. I don't notice much of a difference, especially when you're using fruit for your cookies, like a fruit filling or fruit on the top, like the lemon zest thumbprints are. When you put the thumbprint in, you put a little bit of the lemon curd, and they're sweet too. I won't typically make those kind of cookies. I'll do something more, as I said, like the peanut butter or oatmeal raisin if I really want to make a batch and have them and keep them. And for the reason of, not that you would do that, but overindulge in other things that you shouldn't. It really can keep you on track, and instead of having excuses, you have things in the freezer that your children can run to, and the kids really, they don't notice it. So why not give yourself and your family a healthier recipe? This one though is around the holidays, a little bit more sugar to it, but again, you can cut the sugar, you can cut a lot of things. This is a gluten-free recipe. And I'll explain as I go through. I have a paleo flour that I get, and also some coconut flour. Everything I use is organic. And again, I can cut the sugar. You can make any recipe the way you want to make it. You want to make it lower fat, lower sugar, whatever suits you. But me being a pH healthy girl, again, keeping my pH balanced, I really try to keep the sugar out. And I'm always using lemon. Everybody knows how much I love lemon. I use lemon in my water. I use lemon just to have a nice soothing drink at the end of the night or in the morning. I do that for it's really good for cleaning your organs. And even though lemon is an acid, once it gets through your body, it's an alkaline. So that's a whole different chemistry thing, not for right now. But I'm a big lemon fan. I love the flavor. That and obviously oranges, but those aren't oranges. Not going to get too far off track, but you see where I'm going with this. You really can maintain a balance. A balancing active life is what I try to introduce you to things and plant a seed in your head, and you can say, hey, I can do that, or I can alter it this way, or whatever it is. Please take the time. It doesn't take much more like you would think. For you to open up a box and use all these other crazy ingredients that aren't organic, aren't low in sugar, high in wheat, you could be doing the same thing, same time, freezing them just the same. So again, no excuses. Balancing Active Life is here to help you. You can send me an email, whatever, any questions. But today, lemon thumbprint cookies, gluten-free, low sugar. This particular one isn't the low sugar, but when I make mine, normally I will cut the sugar in half. Does it mess with the consistency? Yeah, it does a little bit. So I'm not selling them, through a bakery or wholesale or anything. So I'm not worried really what they look like. They stay together. They taste good, and that's what it's all about. It's about taste. So here today, I hope you enjoy the Balancing Active Life's episode of the lemon gluten-free cookie, and I'm just going to wrap it up here. And again, hope you enjoy it. TLB, thank you for letting me do this and show people a better way of living, a balanced way of living. Hey everybody, Emilie, DeAngelo with the Balancing Active Life with TLBTV. And today I'm doing a simple gluten-free lemon thumbprint cookie. Got a little sugar cookie and a little bit drier. But the reason I'm doing the gluten-free is because I've noticed so many wonderful things about eating gluten-free. I mentioned in, I think, a series with Mindy about having skin issues for a real long time and just digestion issues. So I really reverted my lifestyle, not just with pH healthy being that way, but also to gluten-free, and myself and many others around me that have been also experimenting have seen huge results. So today I'm just going to take you the whole way through with me to do the gluten-free thumbprint cookies. So I hope you enjoy. Maybe some of this I'll edit if it gets too long, but for the most part, I'm going to have you go through the whole thing with me. So, got my first mixing bowl here, and I might be shooting in and out of the camera here because I have you on a stand. I have most of what I need for the beginning right here, but I might be shooting here and there, so just bear with me if I leave the camera lens. First, we're starting off with our flour mixture. It's a two-part here. So I'm going to get the other bowl. It's actually Christmas Eve, and I have Bing Crosby on, watching all the old shows. I'm in my PJs because today is a PJ day. As you can see, my beautiful hairstyle, you got me basically in the raw. So let's just start off with easy peasy stuff. We do closeouts in my main business, and we inherited these. I thought they were so cute. So I'm going to introduce you to products as we go along. This is Red Mill. I know I talk about them all the time, especially on my pH Healthy page. Red Mill has a paleo, and paleo is really like grain-free, but this one actually has almond flour mixture, tapioca, and arrow, the root, as well as coconut. So I like this one because it already has stuff mixed, because a lot of your gluten-free recipes, especially when it comes to baking, will ask for the almond flour, the coconut flour, and you'll see that a lot. But I like this one because it has it all in there already. But you can also add a little bit, because coconut will give it a little bit more moisture, and it's a little higher in fat for the most part. I think it gives it, I don't know. I keep doing this, so I guess a little bit more moisture is what I'm after. But this is how we start off. This is a new one, so we're opening it up. And this recipe here, I got from the Texarian. I hope I'm pronouncing that right and doing her justice. It's actually a grain-free lemon curd thumbprint cookie. I think I made her raspberry ones before, but whatever. Shout out to her. Thank you. We have 2 cups of almond flour, but like I said, I change it up a little bit and use my things. 2 cups. Then it has 1/4 cup of the coconut flour, and I am adding that in again so I can have a little bit more moisture. Even though that has it in there, I'm not really sure what the ratio is. I'm not experienced enough in flours to know that it's okay to leave this much out. So I'm going to stay with that. This is 1/4 cup, and this is my little 1/4 cup. I can't believe a 1/4 cup is this small. You wonder why our portion sizes are out of control, especially in the United States. So it's 1/4 cup of the coconut flour, and then 1/2 cup of, I use organic sugar. This is granulated. And of course, gluten-free is the flour. Most of it USDA organic. And I'm actually going to have one of my friends on. It works down on her daughter's farm in Virginia. She does all the organic certification. And this little guy, it's a lot to get this. So I think I'm going to have her on in a couple of weeks. I have to reach out to her, but I want her to explain really what this means, because some people try to blow it off like it means nothing, so you buy the product. Well, it means a lot. And I'm going to have her go through it with us. So look forward to seeing her. Her name's Betty. So I just have to get her to accept and come on with us. Okay, look at this. Must be childproof. Or Emilie proof. Whatever. Okay, I'm in. So this one's 1/2 cup. Again, I don't get any money for anything, any of these products that I'm showing you. It's just stuff that I prefer and use. So this first one is for like the dry ingredients. So we got so start together the almond flour, coconut flour, sugar, which we did, baking powder, and then the salt, which is like 1/8. But I have salt in my butter, so I'm going to compensate a little bit for that and just put a little bit of salt in for here. And then the baking powder. I think the baking powder is 1 teaspoon. Yep, I'm right. 1 teaspoon. Now, we're going to set this aside. Or in front of you, or whatever. Try to clean as I go, but with you guys there, I know you don't want to sit there and watch me cleaning, so I'm going to be a little messy. Now, you're not going to be able to really see me do this, so maybe I'll pause this so you don't get the back of me, but it says to take butter and melt it. So I'm going to probably pause this for a second and then melt the butter and then come back here so you're seeing me and you don't have the back of me on the stove. So, hold on. Back. Okay, so melted the butter. Glad you didn't have to wait for that. I actually started zesting the lemon. I didn't realize how long it was going to take because it calls for a tablespoon. So I started doing that. I'm going to finish it up with you. But now it calls for the wet ingredients, which is the egg, 1 egg, teaspoon of lemon extract, and a tablespoon of the zest. That's why I got it. And then the stick of unsalted butter is what it calls for, but unfortunately I only could get salted, so I decreased a little bit of my salt, which was 1/8 of a teaspoon. I decreased that just to a couple shakes there. Oop. Somehow we got a lemon seed squished there. So that about does it for the zest. And again, in case for some reason you don't know, a zest you get from the rind by doing it on the finest of the grater. And you just go back and forth and it comes out. You can hear it, makes a sound. Kind of fun. And that's it. It's really that easy. So we'll take that. Gonna take the melted butter. Gonna scrape this out because I want to get as much of it. I don't want to make the recipe uneven. Crack an egg in, room temperature. Ta-da! I'm a big lemon and honey with warm water instead of coffee. I'll have a coffee once in a while, but just nothing beats the taste of a natural raw honey, which I actually, you'll be seeing, I filmed a lot of when I went to Bethlehem, PA for the holiday. This was a nice, they were selling it in Christmas mart there, and this is really one creamy honey, and I'm enjoying it a lot, and I brought that home. But that doesn't go in there. Don't want to confuse you. We need a teaspoon of the lemon extract. That. We have the egg in there. So we have the melted butter, the egg, the lemon zest, and the lemon extract now. So we are good with the wet ingredients. Let's see what happens next. So we are going to actually add, it says stir. So I guess I'll stir. Do what I'm told. I'd really like to do the sifter, but I'll start. I'll do what it says. So I'm stirring that. Get that egg stirred in there real good for the wet ingredients. And it says add the dry mixture to the wet mixture and stir until combined. But they say the dough will feel quite wet. And then we let it sit for about 10 minutes to basically let the coconut flour absorb everything. So at that time I won't make you sit and wait and watch me dabble. But we'll put this in here. And I'll do a little at a time. Maybe put a third in, or a half in, a half in, third, half and a half, just to, you know, make sure you're mixing it all together. Sometimes when you dump it all at once, it's not as effective. And again, I don't mean to be changing up in anybody's recipe. It's just kind of the way I do it. Yeah, it's pretty wet. It really is. So I can see why they put that in there. Could confuse you a little bit, especially when you're used to, you know, working with the old kind of bake batters, getting it dry out of the box and mixing it with, you know, the ingredients. So because it's so wet, I'm just doing this half and half. Okay, so like it says, it's all mixed. It's a little wet, so they want you to let it stand for 10 minutes. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take another intermission and be right back. I'm back. Okay, let it sit for the 10 minutes. Now keep in mind too, the things that I do, because I'm still pH healthy gal. This sugar, I'll cut that by a third. Still get a really good taste. It's not real sweet. I don't like things sweet anymore. I actually did a gluten test, and I'll talk to you about that in the beginning. I went back and I took my probiotics, and why did I do it? I don't know, because I felt so awful. But I spent the day with everybody, and again, don't know why I did it, and started eating all kinds of gluten, how I used to eat years ago, and it was the worst thing that happened. But I'll tell you about all that. Anyhow, it's been sitting for a little bit. Took parchment, the baking sheets. It's not wax paper. It's parchment paper. You can hear it a little bit. Kind of reminds you of wax paper, but let me say it's drier. It's not as waxy. So I lined the cookie sheet with it. And basically what we're going to do now is roll the dough into 1-inch balls, and then we'll put them, you know, about, what does it say, about 2 inches apart on the sheet. Too big. Make it a little bit smaller. Again, trying to keep them to 1 inch. 2 inches apart. So it looks like I'm going to be safe with 3 rows of 5. And I already preheated the oven to 350. Or actually it's preheating right now. Like I mentioned, I'm hoping to be able to get Betty on and tell us more about everything that they jump through the hoops to have their farm and their products U.S. Organically certified. Hopefully that'll be within the next couple of weeks. Then I'll have edited the trip up to Bethlehem And the reason I did that one, you're thinking, why, balancing act of life, why are you showing something to Bethlehem? Well, because balancing life also means learning new things, being with your family, away from your every day. So that is a balancing act of life, and if I go somewhere that I feel that I can share that'll be beneficial, I'm going to share it. Your choice. You want to watch the episode, you watch it. If you don't, you don't. But you're going to miss out. Really greasy too. I guess it would be between butter, which is a lot, and then coconut. Now I would have to experiment more to see if I could cut down on those ingredients to make it less fat. But I'm going by the recipe that they have as much as possible. I can give updates later if I find it works out. They rolled. So it looks like I'm going to get probably about 32 cookies. I'm going to do the one sheet, as you kind of saw, and then I'll do the second one. I don't know when to do it. Okay, I put all the little balls, as you can see, cookies, on the sheets. I'm obviously missing a couple. Who knows what happened. I probably made these too big, so maybe bring them down a little bit. 1 inch, 2 inches apart. Now, what it calls for is to put them in the oven for 6 minutes. So it's probably just going to let them set, and then we'll press them down a little bit and then fill them up. But we'll be back in about 6 minutes. Just wanted you to see the finished result, or almost finished result. Be right back. Okay, as you can see, they're out of the oven. 6 minutes, took them right out. And instead of using my thumb, so I don't get it caught up in my nail, the obvious reasons, not to mention sanitary nowadays. Just going to take the teaspoon and push it into the cookie, just to make that little, like when you do the gravy and with the potatoes, you put your spoon in, and then you make the little belly for the gravy. Kind of same concept here. Now that's breaking up a little bit, not a big thing. And we're just going to take it and drop in the cur. I have a lemon cur. It does come in organic. I'm thinking, I don't know, I like a lot, so I'm putting in probably more than I should. It's not like I'm selling them, so I'm good. So we can do a couple here together. What I think I'll do is I'll take another spoon out for the to push down on, and then use the other, because the other one's kind of wet now. They're a little dry, so I don't think I have the oven up too high. But we'll see. You know, sometimes they don't look perfect, but they taste better than they look, so we shall see. So what we're doing, just so you can see a little bit here, is we're just pushing in to get the little valley. Fortunately, like I said, they're a little bit dry, but easily managed. Then again, I'm probably using more than you're supposed to, but I like it, and just dropping it right in there. Oop. Kind of falling apart there. I'm gonna have to see how these end up tasting. Not bad, not bad. I remember doing these years ago with I don't know if it was a friend, I have no idea. And they fell apart like this too. I think they were a butter cookie. But obviously easily they went back together, no big thing. Again, I'm not standing here in a commercial cookie. So I'm going to put these all together. I'll show you them before I put them back in the oven. I have to put them back in the oven for another 5 to 7 minutes. But they say don't let the cookie itself get brown, only let the bottom get brown. So that's probably another key thing there too that you got to keep your eye on. And I took this out in exactly 6 minutes, and I'll do the same for the next batch. As promised, I took a lot of it because I'm not going to keep this, so no use on it. So I used a lot. You might not want to use as much, it's fine, but I just finished them up. They look like this. I got two, I keep saying I'm sorry about that. I have 2 pans here. I'm going to put them back in the oven. I believe it's for another 5 to 7 minutes, and again, you don't want the cookies to get brown. You want only the bottoms. I'm going to put them in there, and I'll be back to show you the finished product and maybe take a little taste test. Well, I took them out of the oven. They're all cooled off now. A little broken up. However, they look good. I probably did put a little too much of the curd on, but that's to my liking. You do what's to your liking. It does appear, though, that I got the tops from not being brown. And I don't know what you can see, but the bottoms are just lightly brown. So I did follow that, and that seems to be good. But nothing matters unless it tastes good. So let me see here. Oop, a little warm. Break that in half. Good lemon flavor. Now, You can see the little piece on the bottom, brown. I got a good lemon flavor, picking up just a little bit of the coconut, a little bit on the drier side, which I love. So I have to say, this is a really good cookie. A successful recipe, I believe. If you ever do it with the curd like I did, you're going to see that it got a little bit all over because it bubbled up. But again, they're just a little messy for your family. Who cares? They turned out really good. They got a great taste. So I'm liking this. It's very good. Well, that's it here. Balancing Active Life. Emilie DeAngelo, also known as the PA Healthy Girl. TLBTV, I thank you so much for being part of the family to do this. Thank you for watching us. We appreciate you. And take a look for everything that we got coming. Things that I mentioned today, they'll be there to you soon.